Jim Jones was shaken, and we're talking about the guy who's been through all the violence, betrayals, and fame. But today was a different monster. Mama Jones did the unthinkable, and believe me when I say that this courtroom revelation will leave you questioning everything. Chrissy and Camron thought they had their dirty secrets buried, but Mama Jones wasn't having it. She didn't just spill the tea. She poured petrol on a fire that's been smoldering for years. But here's the twist. What if I told you that the secrets Mama Jones revealed weren't just about Chrissy and Camron? What if that was the true reason Jim Jones's empire is about to collapse? Because what's going to happen isn't just a scandal. It's a catastrophe that could destroy them all. Hold on tight, because isn't just court drama, it's a family war. And you won't believe who will win in the end. I promise you that. You will want to stay tuned for the whole story, ladies and gentlemen. What we're about to delve into today isn't just any ordinary celebrity drama. Rather, it's something that has been lurking beneath the surface. Mama Jones. It's a famous matriarch we've all seen on reality TV who never backs down from a challenge, has just started a firestorm that will rock the foundation of the Jones family. You can bet that Jim Jones, the rapper, the mogul, the man who's walked some of the world's roughest streets, was not ready for this. Now, let's take it back a little. Jim Jones is the rapper turned entrepreneur, the man who made his mark with hits like We Fly High and has been known to associate with Chrissy Camron, his longtime partner. Has been the subject of numerous tabloids, reality TV moments, and online rumors. However, what you didn't know or see behind the scenes was the tension between Chrissy and Jim's mother, Mama Jones. Mama Jones has never been shy about her feelings, so you can already imagine the simmering animosity between Chrissy and Jim. He has lived a life full of luxury, controversy, and scandals. But there's always been one thing lurking just beneath the surface. Family drama. The two have actually been at odds for years. Mama Jones has always had a protective, if you will, view of Jim. She is fiercely loyal to him and has never concealed the fact that she doesn't think Chrissy is enough for her son. The question is, however, how far will Mama Jones go to protect her son when she feels like things are getting out of control? And that's exactly what we're going to discover. Let's fast forward to that fateful courtroom where secrets are supposed to remain hidden. But Mama Jones wasn't following the rules. She took the stand, and what came next was a bombshell of truth bombs. You can already feel the tension, right? It was like waiting for the other shoe to drop, and when it did, it was a devastating blow. So what exactly did Mama Jones expose? Well, hold on to your seats, because this is where it gets really interesting. First, Mama Jones revealed Chrissy's past, which had been hidden for years. And it turns out that she wasn't always the perfect angel she portrayed on reality TV. She also revealed some extremely dark secrets that Jim was unaware of. Secrets that, if made public, could completely alter the situation narrative of their relationship. Did Jim know that he ignored these things out of love, or because of something more serious going on behind the scenes? Now, I know what you're thinking. What exactly is Mama Jones saying about Chrissy? And what kind of secrets are we discussing here? Well, get ready, because these aren't just your typical gossip secrets. They're talking about a whole new level of drama. According to Mama Jones, Chrissy had a troubled past long before she ever met Jim Jones, including financial difficulties, dubious business dealings, and a past that could have led anyone to doubt her motives. But wait, gets worse. Mama Jones also revealed shocking information about Camron, the rapper and Jim's ex-type pet partner. It turns out that their relationship was more complicated than we ever imagined. According to Jones, Camron was not just a close friend. He had some dubious activities with Chrissy that Jim was totally ignorant of. This is where everything starts to come together. For years, Jim Jones has presented himself as a man who is aware of everything that is happening in his life. The boss, the leader. But what if this was all a front? What if Mama Jones, the only person who has known Jim since birth, the only one with inside information about what if Mama Jones was correct all along? What if Chrissy and Camron had been playing him behind his back for years? What if Mama Jones is about to expose it all in front of cameras and a live audience? It was obvious from the moment Mama Jones entered the courtroom that she was not going to hold back. She wasn't there to keep family secrets safe. She was there to ensure the truth was heard. And what's more shocking than a mother defending her? Son's honor. We've only just begun to explore this explosive courtroom drama. Mama Jones just dropped the first round of bombs exposing Chrissy Lampkin and Camron's shocking secrets. And Jim Jones's world is falling apart. If it means destroying everything he believed he knew, this is just the beginning. You'll want to. Stay tuned because in the next section, we're going to break down the details of what Mama Jones revealed and how the public reacted to these bombshells. But don't get ahead of yourself. There's still a lot more to come. Let's go into what Mama Jones revealed about Chrissy and Camron. If you thought it was just some small-scale family drama, think again. What we're dealing with is a full-blown conspiracy that spans years and involves some serious allegations. According to Mama Jones, it was no typical love story. It's much deeper than that. Let's start with Chrissy, who you've probably seen on TV as the tough-talking, no-nonsense woman who supported Jim through thick and thin. However, what you didn't know is that we're not talking about a few minor issues here. But Mama Jones has always had her doubts about Chrissy. Let's just say that she doesn't mince words. According to Mama Jones, Chrissy's rise to fame wasn't exactly based on hard work. In fact, she claims that she has always been involved in a number of shady business dealings, some of which have seriously called into question her moral compass. You see, before Chrissy and Jim became the power couple that we all know today, Chrissy was struggling to make ends meet. Remember that story we've all heard about? Chrissy's alleged difficult upbringing and how she was always hustling well. Mama Jones claims that Chrissy used her relationships and her charm to get involved in some seriously dubious ventures, that kind of things you'd never expect from someone who has supposedly been the rock of Jim's life. But it goes further than that. Mama Jones claims that Chrissy's financial instability was one of the reasons she'd been so desperate to latch onto Jim in the first place. We're talking about people who were dealing with drugs and possibly even money laundering. So you can imagine Jim's reaction when he learned that Chrissy had been hiding some shady connections from him. His own girlfriend, whom he believed to be his ride-or-die, had been hanging out with criminals in the shadows. Hold on tight, because this is where things get even more intense. We've always seen Jim and Camron as brothers, partners in crime, who helped. Mama Jones claims that Chrissy and Camron were more than just business associates. They were partners in a nefarious scheme that had been going on for years. Camron allegedly helped Chrissy launder money using his connections in the entertainment industry to hide some very shady dealings. Can you imagine Jim's reaction? Blood brother, the person he trusted the most, was allegedly involved. Proves that their relationship was never as simple as it seemed. Mama Jones went so far as to claim that Jim was totally unaware of some criminal activities involving the woman he loved. Jim always thought that everything was fine, but in reality, he had been duped. However, there's more to this story than that. Mama Jones began to gather receipts detailing how Chrissy and Camron would joke behind Jim's back about how simple it was to manipulate him. You have to wonder how Jim missed all of this. Was he so overcome by love that he was unable to see the truth? Or was Mama Jones the only one who could see the writing on the wall? Now, let's discuss how the public responded to these shocking revelations. You can be sure that this courtroom drama didn't stay in that stuffy legal building. Instead, it went straight to the streets, where people had a lot to say. Social media was ablaze with opinions on everything from Camron's alleged involvement in the mess to Chrissy's shady dealings. Naturally, some people, especially those who already had a grudge against Chrissy, were quick to join. That seemed like every skeleton in Chrissy's closet was suddenly being brought to light by allegations. Old interviews, social media posts, and even rumors about her relationships with other well-known men in the industry. However, there was also a side to the discussion, with some fans defending Chrissy. casting doubt on Mama Jones's intentions and even raising the possibility that Jim was being coerced by his mother. They claimed that Mama Jones was jealous of Chrissy's relationship with G. Some fans of Jim Jones, who had been by his side through thick and thin, were devastated by the bombshells, wondering if it was all part of some bitter vendetta. The idea that Jim's entire relationship could be based on lies and betrayal was too much for some of them to handle. Could they still support a man who had been deceived so severely? Some fans turned their backs on Jim, calling him weak for letting the people closest to him manipulate him, while others who were true ride-or-die fans rallied around Jim. Restore his reputation. They insisted that Mama Jones did the right thing. She had to protect her son. Now, we know what all of this means for Jim Jones. We've seen his public reactions, social media posts, and interviews, all of which have attempted to salvage what's left of his reputation. But you have to wonder how he's feeling on a private level. Is he in denial about what Mama Jones revealed? Or is he sitting in his mansion staring at the walls, wondering how it all went wrong? One thing is certain. Jim is embroiled in a scandal that could ruin everything he's worked for in his career. As the story progresses, we can't help but wonder if Jim will be able to move past it or if the fallout from Mama Jones's revelations will be the final factor that destroys the Jones family. However, the real question is what happens next. Now that we've unveiled the explosive revelations, you're probably sitting there wondering, what's next? Well, buckle up, because the last chapter of this saga is about to get underway. Relationships and his entire public persona are now in question. And it's all because of one woman, Mama Jones, who decided that enough was enough and took matters into her hands. We've seen Mama Jones's bombshells drop, but what's the fallout? How will this drama unfold, and what are the consequences for each player in this scandal? Let's pick up where we left off. Jim Jones is in the midst of a public crisis, and it's obvious that things are not looking for him. The question on everyone's mind is whether Jim will rise from the ashes or be crushed under the weight of these shocking truths. First, let's talk about the legal repercussions. Keep in mind that we're not just dealing with minor family drama here, because Mama Jones's expose has the potential to spark a full-blown legal storm. When Jim's name has already been dragged through the mud as you begin discussing money laundering, dubious business practices, and connections to criminal enterprises. However, will the authorities step in? Could this be the start of a federal investigation into Chrissy Camron, and possibly even Jim himself? Imagine this lawyer getting involved, the sound of a courtroom gavel banging down, and a criminal case that could result in actual prison time if things get out of hand. If Mama Jones's revelations get out of control, Jim's career, freedom, and legacy could be destroyed. Ready to witness one of its own falls so hard. Could be the end of an era for Jim Jones. Some legal experts say that although it's unlikely that the authorities would intervene right away, the harm to Jim's career could be irreparable because public opinion is already divided and perception is everything in this world. Now, let's return the focus to Chrissy. If you thought she was safe after Mama Jones's expose, think again. Her reputation is in ruins, and everyone is aware of the alleged man. Tough exterior. And even though she's under fire, she's not exactly someone who takes things lying down. Could she defend herself and try to repair her reputation? Or is this the moment that splits her fan base? Some are still loyal to her, dismissing Mama Jones's accusations as old family drama that has been exaggerated, while others are furious that their trust has been betrayed. Some are even beginning to question how deeply involved Chrissy's involvement in the criminal activities truly is. Did she play Jim in the public the entire time? Or is she really the person we believed she was she? Or is she something completely different? But what about Camron, the man who seemed so untouchable only a few years ago? It's difficult to believe that someone with Camron's image, a big, swaggering rapper, could be involved in something so sordid. But Mama Jones's accusations are too hard to ignore. The connection to money laundering, the alleged business dealings, with Chrissy, all of which are beginning to paint a dark picture. Camron's silence since Mama Jones's revelations has been deafening. Is he hoping the storm will pass, or is he getting ready for a counterattack? His quiet response has left many wondering whether Camron intends to address the accusations head-on, or if he's hoping that the public will eventually move on to the next scandal. However, one thing is certain. Camron's legacy in the hip-hop world may never be the same after this. His fans, who once admired him for his streetwise bravado and unmatched skill on the mic, are now left wondering what lies beneath the surface. Was his entire persona just a front? The longer this story goes on, the more the public begins to see Camron's true colors. And the truth may be more devastating than any insult. Let's move on to the most important question of all. Will Jim Jones fight to clear his name? Or will this be the end of his career as we know it? It's easy to say that this scandal could ruin him. But Jim is a survivor, and we know that he's weathered his share of storms. But this time feels different. If Jim decides to fight back, it's likely that we'll see a massive public relations campaign to try and rebuild his shattered image. His devoted fans are still there, but even they are beginning to wonder if he was blinded by love and loyalty. If he's honest about his own mistakes and admits that he was taken advantage of, maybe hope for redemption. However, that's a big if. Will Jim reveal how much he didn't know about Chrissy and Camron's shady dealings? Or will he double down and keep fighting to keep his empire intact? In any case, one thing is certain. Will this scandal lead to something bigger? What if Mama Jones's bombshells are only the beginning? Some have suggested that Mama Jones may have just begun a chain reaction that will uncover even more corruption, manipulation, and lies that reach the highest levels of the hip-hop industry. Can we envision a full-fledged hip-hop conspiracy developing before our very eyes? What about the industry's repercussions? Isn't just about one family, it's about a network of connections, some of which extend well beyond the Jim Jones and Jules Santana Dipset circle. What if other musicians and influential figures are also implicated in these accusations? Could expose a web of corruption that stretches throughout the music industry? If the truth comes to light, everything could. One thing is certain: as the dust settles, Jim, Chrissy, and Camron are now a part of a much larger story that the world will be closely following as the scandal unfolds. Will Jim return? Will Chrissy be able to regain her position in the spotlight? Will Camron ever be able to shake the shadow of these allegations? It's difficult to say, but you can bet that this is one story that won't go away because the public's desire for the truth is insatiable. And we're only just starting to see the fallout from Mama Jones's explosive revelations. Whatever happens next, one thing is for sure: the game will never be the same. We've only touched the surface of the scandal that is rocking the hip-hop industry's foundation. But the drama of Mama Jones's bombshells and the fallout it has caused isn't over yet. In fact, it's just getting started. Here's what we want to know. What do you think will happen next? Will Jim Jones be able to move on from this scandal? Or will it be the end of his reign? Could Chrissy and Camron rise above the ashes? Or are they stuck in the drama forever? Who will be the next to be exposed? We know there's more to this story than meets the eye, so now is your chance to join Thetan. Just sit there. Instead, let your voice be heard. If you want to stay up to date on all the latest scandalous revelations, shocking exposes, and jaw-dropping drama, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. I promise you won't want to miss a second of this saga, and you'll want to be the first to know. What are you waiting for? Like, comment, and subscribe for more breaking stories like this one. You never know when the next big thing will be revealed. We'll be here to give you all the facts, falsehoods, and secrets you need to know. So stay tuned for the bombshell that might be coming soon. The drama is far from over.